Hello, this is just a quick reminder announcement about the tentative thesis statement for the World War II project. I made a longer video earlier that you should find online, but just as a quick reminder, there is a Dropbox for your tentative thesis statement, and I'm really not asking for very much. The tentative thesis is intended to get you started, right, to kind of point you in the right direction in terms of your argument, and I'm only asking for roughly a sentence or two in order to accomplish that. If you look at the original handout, there's some guidance as well. It says your thesis statement should clearly lay out in 1 to 2 sentences um, what you intend to argue, right? And in the beginning of your thesis is really your answer to the guiding questions about whether or not the double victory was achieved, right? So every person might answer that question differently. So that's kind of the beginning of your thesis, how you answer that. That is the beginning of your argument, in essence. So what you intend to argue about whether or not the double victory was achieved by the end and after the war. The second part that you'll be addressing in that thesis is why, right? Why you believe what you believe, right? That again is your argument. What leads you to this opinion? What's it based on? And so going through all these sources, or through all these readings and such, should support and ultimately guide you towards what you believe. Right? This is not an opinion; it's based on something, right, that you've read or seen or what have you. So think about that as well. What you're arguing, why it's kind of significant, why you believe what you believe, and what it sort of tells us about the larger society at that time. That's the why. That's the significance. You have some practice in thinking about this if you think back to the identifications, right? You did the who, what, when, where, but most important was the why, the significance. And last part of the thesis is the how. How do you plan to specifically demonstrate that in this paper? I'm pushing you to be very specific because you don't have a lot of time and space and 4 to 5 pages to make this argument. You have to be focused, you have to be specific. So from the beginning, I want to push you to think in terms of some of the themes and 2 or 3 themes or topics that you plan to discuss. Right, to be thinking about who your character might be that you're going to use to make your argument. So I'm pushing you from the beginning to be as focused and as specific as possible because you're not going to have the time and space to talk about everything, right? That will take you all over the place. So you want to be focused. So those 3 things, right? What are you arguing? Why is it significant? How you plan to prove it? How do you plan to demonstrate it specifically in this paper? Turn that in so that I can take a look at it. All right. Thank you.